Howdy. I'm Grey Pilgrim. And every now and then, rather than a pipe, a man wants a good Maduro cigar. And this is by a company called Christoph, and make a damn good product. Anyway, I was just sitting around the house and thinking about some things. By the way, I don't know, in the fall you'd call this an Indian summer, but there's sort of a false spring out there. Today is an absolutely gloriously sunny day. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's a perfect temperature to go out and work in the garden or clean up those problems left over from the winter storms. But the weather says that it's going to hit snow in about 2 or 3 days, and the temp is going to dip back down. So, like I said, it's sort of a false spring. What I was thinking about, in this day and age, you've got to take care of your own. You've got to take care of your own family, your friends, your kin, your neighbors, your family, your community, everybody. What happens if the balloon goes up? The SHTF sort of situation that we all sort of think about a little bit in the back of our minds. Well, everybody's got their own idea for what the perfect SHTF weapon is. Most people would go with this, an AR platform. This is not the fanciest. This is the lower is made by Ruger. The upper is I don't know who. And the sighting on it is a Trijicon Gen 1 that I had redone by the factory. It's got a 10-year warranty on the tritium in it. No batteries. This uses a tritium sight on the thing. And it's just wonderful. You'll notice it's way far forward. That's because I think this is basically a pistol red dot. But I have sighted this in, and at that distance, this is perfect for about 60 to 100 yards. And I'm not about to shoot any further than that. Not my favorite weapon by any means. This is not my personal go-to weapon for anything. But I've got one because, well, I'm an American. My favorite is this. Ooh, a little heavier. A Ruger Mini 14. Yeah, I know all the stories, I know all the tales, I know all the comparison videos and stuff like that. But this thing works. For me, it works. It's a good weapon. I bought it in just this condition. This was owned by a prison guard in New Mexico. And his brother, who worked as a night watchman in the building I was working in, I was working night shift, and so we saw each other a lot. Anyway, I mentioned I was in the mood for a rifle, and he said, "Hey, my brother's got one for sale," and we worked out a deal, and it came just as configured exactly like this. This is a custom stock made by a gunsmith down in New Mexico. Never seen one quite like it before, but it just works like a champ. I do have a standard Ruger stock over there that I put on it every now and then when I need it to look a little more like a sportsman's rifle. The Ruger Mini 14 is designed by Bill Ruger, and basically what it is a 5.56 scaled down version of the M14 of the U.S. Army. So it has the same flag safety on it here. It has the same paddle grip for removing the magazine. Yeah, as you can see, this one's loaded. The chamber is not loaded at the moment. This sits by my bed most of the time because if I hear a noise in the middle of the night, first I grab the 38 under my pillow. After I've emptied the 5 rounds in it, I reach over for this, and if I don't get it at first, I'll reach for the AT-84 I've got sitting on the bedstand next to it. I may be dumb, but I ain't stupid. And oh, come on, you. There. I prefer, as I say, the Mini 14 to the AR platform. This is a little bit heavier. The AR is a little bit lighter. It's actually a good rifle. I mean, it works just fine. And this one, I mean, the fellow who put it all together for me is a genius, and he does a good job. But I don't know. I like the Mini 14. And I put this Trijicon on it a while back, and as I said, this has just the perfect thing for me for sighting in. And I don't know. I think this thing's probably valuable these days. It was dead when I got it, and I sent it off for a factory rebuild, and they made it wonderful. I mean, it looks like the original. This is what started the whole red dot thing, by the way. That particular sight. I don't have I put the Picatinny on here thingy, and it works. It's not exactly right, but it works, and it's on there pretty solid. And that thing, it does its thing, you know. No rounds of this one at all. But this one normally sits in the gun safe. Anyway, what's your favorite SHTF rifle? I've stated my preference. I prefer the Mini 14. I always have. I know how to use an AR-15. I can use one. I know how, or an M4, or whatever you want to call this kind of configuration. I know how to use it. I know all the manual of arms of it. I can field strip it. I know all the stuff you can do with it. Same with the Mini 14. I've played with all kinds of Cold War rifles, mainly in .308 or 8mm or other rounds similar. 7.5 Swiss, 7.5 that'd be that's 7.5 French, and other things. And I played with many a bolt action. I've got all of those, but I prefer the Mini 14. I haven't had a Spanish set me for a while, but it never worked well for me. That French Moss 4956, I can hit a bullseye at 100 yards consistently with it. If I'm going to do .308, I'll use that, or I'll use 8 Mauser and I'll use my FN49. But I used to have a the Swiss AG42 Youngman. Alas, I sold it years ago. Kicked myself for that. But anyway, just what do you think is the best for SHTF? Know what I'm picking. Keep this around because you may need a backup, or you might need one for your brother who comes over and he needs a backup. I've got plenty of magazines for both of them. I usually have plenty of magazines for any weapon I have. And I try to have rounds developed for every weapon I have. I reload for this Mini 14, which is not quite the same as others. My favorite load for it is a 55 grain bullet, using any brass you can find. I use range pickup that I clean up, and I use 23 grains of Accurate Arms 2230 powder. It's a mild load, but it's absolutely perfect, and it's dead on when you shoot it through this particular weapon. Not so much through the AR here or others, but through this Mini 14, that particular recipe works just dandy. Anyway, my thoughts for a nice false spring day. Happy trails.